Round two.
Okay, so we're going to talk about 2 other topics, and then maybe we'll do a little bit of role play. Yeah. Again, remember, if you need to leave, that's fine.
You guys see that the Zoom's not working?
It's working now.
Chelsea said it's still not working.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back on.
It's back on.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about doing the first things first. That's what I'm entitling this. So, who here knows about the 10-day social media fast? Okay. All right, pretty much everybody. Some of you are doing it, some of you are not. There are varying degrees. Everyone's doing what feels right to them. But I love what this brought up, and it brought up the point that a lot of us are wasting a lot of time on social media in the name of working our business. And when we do that, we're actually not very effective. It can affect our mood. It can cause comparison, where you compare yourself to other people. I shared that probably about 9 months ago, I started to feel more depressed and anxious. I was spending way too much time on my phone and way too much time on social media. And that's actually a real thing. I've done a lot of research about that. And so I had to start scaling back and setting more boundaries with my social media. And it did not affect my effectiveness at all. In fact, last month I sponsored 4 ambassadors and a customer, which for me is great. 5 people in a month, I'm like, sweet. My goal is always silver. But I spend way less time on social media, and I'm just as effective, if not more effective. Yeah, take my hair tie. So I know that some of you have been working your businesses for a long time. You've been with us since the beginning, and you might be feeling some frustration. But what I see happen is over time, the longer people have been in the business, they think, well, I'm just going to spend more time on social media. Or I'm just going to do more of this or more of that, instead of sharpening the saw and focusing on what really matters. And we get this anxiety that we've got to be on social media all the time. We've got to be like, doing all the things all the time. And we don't take a step back and look at our habits and sharpen the saw and then attack our business. And so we're going to talk about doing the first things first and leaving those non-essential things for, maybe if you have an extra time on a day or whatnot. But how many of you guys can relate to this, first of all? Okay, several of you. Okay, great. So when I think about the things that are essential in your business, and the first thing that you need to make a time block for is your personal business. Okay, and in your personal business, what do I mean? I mean new reach outs. That's first. Second thing is relationships, building relationships with people. So today, because of our non-social media, 10 days or whatever, I've been talking to a lot of people. I went and took a fitness class from a girl that dated my husband in college, super cute girl. I never really knew her. I knew of her, and she's just a sweet girl, and we're friends on Facebook. We talked about Plexus like 2 years ago. She had some interest, dropped off the face of the earth. She lives here. I just sent her a message this week, and I said, hey, let's go for lunch. Let's get together. I just want to catch up with you. And she's like, sure. I ended up taking her class. Afterwards, we sat and talked for an hour. So we didn't talk about Plexus, but I know she knows what I do. I know that she's had interest in the past, and I know she will be on my team. She has a lot of influence. She's an amazing woman. It's just a matter of time. But that is relationship building, okay? So that is important to do in your business. Expanding your network. That is part of your own business. That can be a lot of different things. That can be going to your daughter's dance practice, being off your phone, and talking, cheer.
Cheer. Everybody needs to put their little girl in cheer.
And talking to Bev that was sitting next to her.
I'm telling you, you go put your girls in cheer, you're going to find leaders there.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding.
True.
I'm not kidding. And the moms, they sit and they hang out and they talk. And they really like the things that are in our Plexus culture already.
So that is, yeah. So that's an example of how you can expand your network. Okay, so you guys all know I live in the middle of nowhere. There is no cheer, so I can't do cheer. Yeah, there just aren't a lot of things right now, but that's not an excuse. That wasn't an excuse. So for me, a lot of how I expand my network is when I am traveling, I meet people. And so just when we were in Maui, my husband met a man that we know through another friend. They started talking. He started telling him about what I do, and he's like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. My wife is looking for something. So I got connected with his wife, and so that's another way of building relationships. If you can get your spouse to start talking about what you do as well, that will help in expanding your network. Social media. I've expanded my network a lot on social media. I have a Ruby Ambassador, Julia, under me that I didn't know at all before Plexus, and I met her on social media. I didn't know her from Adam. So you can expand your network in a lot of different ways. So that is essential to building your business. The other thing is follow-up. So these are all the activities that you are personally doing in your business. But the very first, most important thing is reaching out, continuing to bring people into the funnel. The thing is, guys, scrolling through Facebook is not any of these things necessarily. You might be working a little bit on relationships, maybe a little bit on expanding networks, but watching 2 hours of Insta stories or scrolling through Instagram for an hour and a half, you can maybe pick one day a week where you let yourself do that.
But scrolling Facebook is something that I gave up at Emerald because I didn't have time for it anymore. And so when I scroll Facebook, it's because I've delegated 10 minutes once a week to go through and be like, oh my gosh, okay,
yep.
I need to build a relationship with somebody new.
Yep. Yep. And the way that
Or
you
see
can
what's
focus,
going on.
the way that you can focus this though is like a hot 20 list.
Yes.
Okay? But here's the thing, like you're gonna have a hot 20 list, but every month you should be taking a look at this. Yeah. And maybe you kind of rotate them. And maybe 1 month you really focus on some people and you see, okay, well that's not really going anywhere. I'm still gonna work on building a relationship with them, but I'm gonna add some more people to this pot. So if you're scrolling through Facebook endlessly and you don't have any focus as to who you're trying to focus on, it's not going to be very effective and it's going to take a lot of your time. So first you have to focus. Who is it that you want to build a relationship with, okay?
And one of the things that I want to add with that is I build relationships with Plexus people all day long. So when I'm on Facebook, I am only looking for people that were in my life before Plexus, not because I'm trying to enroll them, but because I am focusing on relationships that I'm not giving my attention to all day at work in the first place. Does that make sense?
Right, and you will be happier too.
Yes.
Because not all these people you have relationships with are going to sign up for Plexus.
Right.
Like my aunt, for example, she refuses to try the products, but she sends me people. So, okay, that's fine. You know, I have a relationship with her. She sends me people. I don't know that she'll ever sign up for Plexus, and that is okay. So the thing is, when you look at these tasks that you need to do in your business, you've got to schedule in a time in your life. Like, when does this work for you? I can't really do these sorts of things until my kids are at school during the day. I have Lily and Grace at home, and I know that there are specific times when they nap. I know that from about 8 to 9:30, they are happily playing together and entertaining each other, and so I can get some work done. So you've seen maybe in some of my IPA challenges, like recently, I'll put a time with it. I'll put like 15 minutes. I'm a big believer in giving yourself a deadline. Like with everything in life, if you don't give yourself a deadline or a time when you stop, you could literally work Plexus 24 hours a day, right, Emily?
Yes.
And you will not be happy. And you
Not
don't need to do that. And it's not effective. And you won't feel your best, be your best, be able to exude that energy that you want other people to see. So give yourself a deadline. I feel like spending 15 minutes sending new reach outs is plenty of time to send some messages. You may not even need 15 minutes if you have a good list. Then relationship building. That could be 10 minutes on social media looking for specific people that you want to see what's going on in their life. Because really what we are always looking to do is we are looking to fill a need. We're not looking to prey on people. Sometimes people feel like, well, this is so weird. We're preying on people. No, you're getting to know them to see what their needs are so that we can fill a need. Because we fill people's needs in a lot of different ways. We fill their social need because some people just really want community and they want something to do with their friends, right? Or they want friends because they don't have a lot of friends. For some people, we're filling a financial need. For some people, it's a health need, right? So we're filling all kinds of needs.
And I really truly believe that if I could get every single one of my friends to do this with me, they would be happier doing this.
Yeah.
So it's not about me wanting to make money off of them. Like, I legitimately look at some of my friends and I'm like, they would love this. Why can't I get them to see this?
Right.
I mean, why is it so easy to get my friends to see me. But you know what I mean? Like, you have to change your why. What is your why? Most people's why is not really money when you get down to it. Sure, you might have some initial needs that need to be filled, but it's not about that.
Yeah, exactly. So basically setting aside times. I want you guys to go home this weekend and think about this, like, where am I wasting time? And be really honest, because you're the only person that knows where you're wasting time. And sometimes that might be that you're staying up an extra hour at night when you really need to be sleeping. And you're scrolling through social media, and that carries over into the next day. And then you feel tired, and then you're like, oh, I don't feel like doing my reach out today because I just don't feel, I'm not feeling it today.
The products aren't working for me anymore.
Products aren't working.
Well, you're not sleeping, honey.
You're not sleeping.
You're not sleeping.
So take an honest assessment, and then I want you to schedule in these time, like literally schedule them, and even expanding your network. You can choose, like, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm in a couple different groups on Facebook, types of groups that I would want to be on, like the types of people that I think I could be friends with these people. You can go in there, or you can spend that time on Instagram. You can spend that time expanding your network however
you can go out. I don't do it on groups. For me, it's painful.
Yeah.
So, and because I don't live on an island, it's okay.
Yeah.
I can just go out to a library with Dean, or I can go to a park, or I can go sit at cheer, because my life looks a lot different than Brooke's. So you might need to do something that's painful, like go on groups, if you don't have a big city that you live in, but you don't have to just do groups. Like, just go out. And you're like, well, I'm shy and I'm introverted. That's terrifying.
So am I, but I messaged that girl today that I didn't really know that dated my husband in college. And so that's expanding networks, right? Even when I travel, talking to people on the plane and whatnot, all of that is expanding your networks. But if you don't specifically set aside times to do these things, and your follow-up, right, that a lot of people are afraid of, then it just won't get done because it's not a priority. And whatever is a priority and whatever you must get done will get done. So make these things a priority, however you want to do them. I'm not going to tell you how to do it because everyone's life is going to be different. For some people, the only time they can work their business is from 9 to 11 at night. I'm not going to say, oh, you shouldn't do that because that's late and that's a bad example. Well, maybe that's the only time in their life because of work that they can work their business. That's what works for them, and that's the beauty of this business. So this comes first. Now, it's so tempting to do all the other things, scroll through Facebook or chat with your people that are in your Plexus business with you, or do other things that are just fun, be in management mode. But these are the things that come first. The next thing that should be your priority is working with your team. Like Emily said, taprooting, working down through your people. That could be calling them, doing sip and sees, doing Zooms with them. Your first priority is to work with the willing and the wanting. And what you're doing is giving everybody the same opportunity. We give everybody the same opportunity to grow a business, but we can't force people and push people along. And so you really do want to pour more into the people that want it. And then you're sprinkling your little water on everyone else, hoping that eventually they're going to open their mouth and they're going to drink, right? So that is where your priority should be. Now, honestly, I can do all of this stuff right here if it's all done virtually within an hour every day. You can message me people, you can build relationships, I can expand my network, and I can do my follow-up in an hour. Somebody in here is doing social media. No, she's not here. I have a girl named Christy under me, and she decided to do social media fast, and she realized she was wasting a ton of time on social media, and she's like, oh my gosh, when I pare it down to the things I need to do, like, I just need like 3 hours a day. If I just sit down and I am razor focused and I get to it. She's trying to work a little bit more. So this isn't all I do. Obviously, I do other things with my team, and I work more than an hour a day. I would never say that I only work an hour a day, but my personal business, that should always, always get done every day, 30 to 60 minutes to get this done. But you have to schedule it in. That's the thing that I want you guys to focus on. And then I want you to trim the fat, right? We talked about this on my accountability calls. Just trim the fat. Get rid of all the extra stuff that's it's not building your business. It's not helping you to grow personally. It's okay to let go of those things. Because I really feel like if you're trying to hang on to everything out of desperation and do everything and control everything, that you can't even, there's no room for abundance in your life. There's no other door that can be opened until you close one door. And so you have to trim the fat and let go of some things that aren't working so that other doors can open for you. So that you'll be open, you'll have the time, you'll have the energy, you'll have the emotional and spiritual strength to take on something else.
And you know those things because they're draining. So when I was Emerald and I was like making sure I was commenting on every single person's Plexus post on my team. It was taking me 3 hours. I was working from like 11 until 3 a.m. making sure that every single person on my team was supported on their social media posts. You guys, you do not need to be commenting on other people's posts unless you're going to take that post and use it as your own. It's just a common courtesy to leave a comment. Other than that, you do not have to do that. You don't need to boost other people's algorithm. You don't need your algorithm boosted.
Right.
Either they're going to see it or they're not, and just let the chips fall where they may. It's going to be okay. So if there's something that you're like, oh my gosh, this one thing in my business is just draining me, I hate it so much, then you as a leader need to say to yourself, how can I fix this? How can I make this so it doesn't drain me anymore? Because you might not be able to get rid of the task altogether. Like maybe for you, you hate answering messages for your team. Well, maybe you only do it once a day then. Maybe in the morning you do it for 5 minutes, and at the end of the day you do it for 5 minutes. And you have systems in place to support them throughout the rest of the day. Like train them to go to a notes page. Train them to go to the team page. They're not going to be asking you questions all day if you train them to use a system. And that's the biggest thing, that a lot of you are feeling overwhelmed because you're like, oh my gosh, they're just always talking. They're always asking me questions all day long. It's because you as a leader have not taught them to do anything different. You have said that behavior is okay. You have allowed it. They haven't created it. Your momentum hasn't created it. You as a leader have said, that's okay. Ask me any question, anytime, whenever you need help. I'm your slave. You've allowed that.
Yep. So putting those boundaries around your time is really important, and then really just being focused in that time. Because if you're pouring 12 hours in a day and you're not getting 12 hours of work, of value out of that, there's a lot of fat that needs to be trimmed, and there's a lot of focus that needs to happen. The other thing that I want to say about time management and just in general, when you're working towards a goal and working to grow your business, it's something that I'm really passionate about, is just taking care of yourself. Be a product of the product. Exercise, drink your water, get sleep.
Eat 3 meals.
Get your spiritual strength, whatever that is. Like, do the things that make you happy and healthy so that you can give back to people. Don't just let all of that go out the window in the name of working my business and having a goal. Instead, you be disciplined. Don't say you don't have time, just be disciplined with your time, because nobody has time. So be disciplined with it, and you will start to see results in your business, and you'll train your team in the same way. So Emily was talking a little about systems, and so we're going to talk a little bit about systems. And lately you've been hearing us talk a lot about simplifying. Simplifying. And we can talk about this because we didn't always do that. We always used to tell everybody, oh, just put them in a 3-way message with me. Just get them on a Zoom. Just get them on a call. Just get them in front of me. Like, I just want to do everything.
People-led. Everything was people-led in our business.
Which is very controlling and fear-based. It's controlling and fear-based.
There's no exit strategy.
Yep. And so, we used to preach that, and we still believe in connection and 3-way messages and getting to know your team. But if you're not prospecting or looking for potentials and teaching your teams to do it in a simple way, and you're not empowering them, you are limiting your growth and you're limiting your time freedom. And so it's as simple as, Emily, let's just pretend. Okay. Pretend. Okay. So, so I saw your post on Facebook today, and you know what? Honestly, I'm super exhausted, and I don't know if I could really take this. This product would be safe for me.
Oh, okay. I'm really caught off guard here.
I just saw your post and I messaged you.
Okay, so you're worried about the safety of the product, right?
Yeah, I'm not really sure if it's safe.
I'm ready now, guys.
Okay. Okay. So people said they can't see at all. What? I just got a bunch of messages that said they can't see or hear.
Can't see or hear us. Really?
Yeah.
Can you see and hear us now?
Leah said it and my people said it. Yes.
Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear us. Can you guys see and hear us at all?
Anybody? Hello, hello.
Lori, can you see and hear us? It's a long time of recording if they can't see and hear us.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
It's
Okay.
working? Okay, good. Okay.
Okay. So this is our role play
Okay.
section.
Okay.
Okay. Then you can give it to me
Okay.
and make it hard on me.
Okay. So, I totally understand how you feel because that was my first concern when I looked into Plexus. But what I found is that when I looked at the ingredients, I found that they're all such vitamins and probiotics. And you can even call a pharmacist. I do that sometimes. And you can say, oh, I want to take these products. Is there anything in here that would be harmful to me or interact with anything I'm already doing? And they'll just affirm what I've just told you.
So I just, honestly, I don't really know anything about the products. And I've just seen you post about it a couple times. Like, I mean, what do you think I should take?
Well, what interests you the most about it? Like,
well, I'm tired. I'd like to lose 30 pounds. I have headaches every morning.
that sounds so much like me. That was like me before Plexus. Oh my gosh. I like didn't want to like even go out because I was just so tired. I was like, I'm a grandma.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, oh, I totally understand. Okay, so what I recommend for people to start with is Triplex. I'm going to send you a really short video. It's a minute long. And it just kind of tells you how it works. If I send it, will you watch it?
Yeah, I could watch it right now. Okay.
And I usually try, like sometimes I'll even watch it at the same time as them so I know when it's over. And I can be like, oh, how did you like that video? What stuck out to you the most?
You know, actually, it sounded a lot like me. Like, honestly, my stomach's upset a lot, and I just don't have the energy that I want to be able to run around with my kids.
Yes.
And I just want to eat Hershey's chocolate bars.
Yes. Oh, I liked peanut butter cups. That was mine. Peanut butter cups.
I'll take those
Peanut
too.
butter. Yeah, they're my favorite. So what I found worked for me was Triplex, the video I just sent you. And I also really love people to start with the E's, especially if you're someone that likes your sugar. The E's, there's an ton of inflammation when you eat sugar. And the E's is going to eat away that inflammation from eating sugar. So that's really where I would recommend that you start.
Well, how much is it?
The first month is $145 plus shipping and tax. And that includes membership. And then after that, when you order those same 4 things, it's going to, $165 plus shipping and tax. It's going to be $145 plus shipping and tax every time you order those same 4 things after that.
It's a little bit more expensive than I thought it was going to be.
That is how I felt in the beginning too.
Really?
Yeah, my husband is working 3 jobs, 6 days a week.
I'm kind of afraid to tell my husband.
Yeah, I know. Girl, we were in $150,000 of debt when I started Plexus. And so for me, even groceries were a burden because it was just like this mounting debt over and over and over, never getting ahead. And so what I did is I just decided I'm just going to get this. And I called my mom and my sister and my best friend on the phone. And because I thought of them as I learned about the products, sort of like you are right now, are you thinking of anybody who might want to have more energy or, have cravings? Your sister?
Yeah,
What's your sister's name?
Angela.
Angela.
Yeah.
Are you guys close?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so awesome. No, this is what I do. This is really what I do. You have to talk to them and follow the conversation of what they're talking about. Sometimes this takes like 3 days. Okay. Okay. Well, what if you called Angela on the phone and said, I really want to do this? And, like what specifically do you think Angela needs help with? Does she have weight loss or,
She has Hashimoto's.
Oh, okay.
And she's tried a lot of things, but honestly, I think she'd be really skeptical. She'd ask me, is this one of those MLM things?
Yeah. It is. Yeah, it is. And I was really turned off by it at first because I've never even had an account with another company before because I really didn't want to be on a commitment with anything. And what I found though is the products really made me feel better. And so I was able to see past all of that and recognize that at the end of the day, my health is most important.
Yeah.
And I trusted my friend.
I'm just worried if I sign up for something like I can't get out of it. Like, I'm going to be in like $1,000 because
Oh my gosh,
I tried to
know.
sell lipstick once.
Yeah.
And
Well, I want to know what lipstick you have because I am always looking for new lipstick. So maybe I could buy some because is there like a favorite one that you want to, like I would love, like I'm always looking for a new lip gloss or something. So we'll get back to that later. But one of the things that I really, really have loved about Plexus is that you are in control of what comes and when it comes. So you're not tied into anything.
Okay.
And you really just, I'll teach you how to be in control so there's no surprises.
Okay.
But I will say that when I started this, I committed that I was going to do this for 3 months because I knew that it takes 90 days for the body to regenerate new healthy cells and 6 weeks to 6 months to balance the gut. So when you do this, notice I'm saying when you do this, I'm casting that vision onto her. When you do this, I really think you're going to love the results that you see when you commit to that 3 to 6 month time frame.
I really don't want to wait. I'm going to deal with my husband later. Let's just.
Okay. Are you free right now?
Yeah.
What's your phone number?
Right now. That's how we do it.
So
On the phone right away.
I think the biggest thing to remember in these situations when you're prospecting someone in this way is you want to follow the flow that they are signaling you to follow.
They're the leader.
So and maybe this is more outside of your comfort zone than it is for someone like me who's always like, and I can talk about lipstick once, and I really did want to try her lipstick, like because I am running low on my gloss. So but I'm not doing it to get her to buy what I'm buying. If I wasn't interested in like I've had a friend who wants me to do her leggings, and I didn't ask about what her leggings looked like because I have zero interest in that. So you don't be fake.
Don't be disingenuous.
Be genuine. And if you don't it just very naturally, I was interested in that. So if you're interested in something, roll with that because that's where connection happens. And if it's not as easy for you to connect with people, then it's going to be outside of your comfort zone, but you can still do it.
You can learn how to ask good questions though, right? A good leader asks good questions. Somebody that's good at getting potentials on board asks a lot of questions, and you give them time to talk. So she asked me, what interests you about the products, or what are you looking to achieve? If somebody messages you, or you're talking to them, or they put a comment on your post, then you need to reach out to them. You can't always wait for people to come to you, and ask them a good question, and then shut up and let them talk. Let them tell you about what's going on with them. And then, a little bit after that, she got to telling me, I really think the triplex and ease would be a great thing.
And I said, why?
Yeah, why it would be great. And then
but I wasn't an expert. I just knew one thing about the ease, and that's that it eats away inflammation caused by sugar.
Yeah. So you don't have to give a 10-minute explanation. We have to get away from the 10 minutes of voice messages, the ingredients list. You will have some people that will want that, but very few people want that. We have to get away from that and make it simple and conversational, and as simple as, I have a short 1-minute video. Do you have time to watch that right now? Almost everybody's going to say yes. If they say no,
and if they say no for 3 weeks, girl, they are not interested in what you have.
They're not interested right now.
And
they might be later.
Let that be.
Let that be. Yeah. But then she shared a video. Then she didn't wait 2 or 3 or 4 days. She followed up with me like a couple minutes later. What did you find interesting about that video? Or could you relate to anything in that video? Anybody can ask a question like that. And when she's prospecting to me, not my favorite word, when she's connecting with me,
I like that better.
She is using simple questions. And me, as the potential, thinks, I could ask my friends, what interests you about
You're
Plexus?
training people from the day you message them the very first time.
I could copy a video link.
Can everybody do what I just did without being a nurse? Yeah.
Yep.
Without being a diamond ambassador. Yes.
She was connecting, not just prospecting. She was connecting, sent me the video. I had a little bit of an objection. She overcame that objection. Okay? With objection.
You just keep
helping them. Stop and be like, it's fine. I don't want to let it.
You keep answering.
Then I go back into like relationship building mode.
Yeah.
Because that means I don't have enough influence over them yet to get them to
Or
come on.
a three-way message.
Or a three-way message.
Is a third party
or a
tool.
7-day challenge or a
Yep.
3-day blitz.
That's when you introduce a different third party tool, which would be a three-way message, a Zoom, all those events. If they're still not interested, you just build a relationship. Or sometimes you haven't even really asked the question and you don't know what's really holding them back. And it is okay to say,
What is that? What's
Emily,
holding me back?
you know, last week when you told me about how much you were struggling with anxiety and depression, and you were so tired to the bone and eating that chocolate chip cookie dough, peanut butter cup ice cream every single day, and you just did not want to live this way. You wanted change, and
You should have done this when you were trying to sign me up the first time. This would have been really good stuff.
you know,
Instead, she just said, "Did you look at that website that I sent you?
that was my.
Have you signed up yet?"
Yeah. See how we have
This is so much better. Okay, keep going.
But what you do when you come back to that person is you scroll back up that message. What did they tell you they're struggling with? You bring it back to their why. That's her why. Emily, you are struggling. You are tired. You are yelling at your kids. You have anxiety.
But I am not married to a rich doctor, and we can't afford this.
But think about it this way.
I said this.
Yes. Yes. While she draws a picture.
Draw a house.
So I totally understand that. You're not in a position where you feel like this would be something you could afford. But I remember when we talked last week, you were telling me about the ice cream you were buying. And about if you're talking to someone, for example, that has like a soda habit or a coffee habit or any other kind of habit, right? I'll talk to people.
My sister, Natalie, has some major health issues, and I've actually been thinking about her.
That would be amazing.
I'm going to Arizona this weekend.
This is what happened.
This is really what happened. I'm going to Arizona this weekend, and I think I'm going to talk to her about it.
So, do you think she's someone that would do this with you? Do you have a good relationship with her?
I mean, I'm definitely not going to do the business. Like,
right.
I'm never going to share. Ever.
This is so funny because this is exactly how it went down.
But secretly, I was watching all of her Facebook lives. They weren't Facebook lives, but she was posting videos, and I was like, man, I want to make videos.
Yeah.
But I never say that. I
Right
would never
now-
say that. Okay, so
Right
I'm
now,
going to go.
let's not focus on the business at all. Let's focus on you and your sister-in-law.
Yeah,
and
that's
getting
good.
you guys healthy. And one really great thing about Plexus is that it's very
My
simple.
mom's been watching your videos too.
Has she?
Yeah, she
I
says
love
she
your
probably
mom.
wants to do it.
Oh my gosh, I love your mom.
We can probably get like the double thing you were talking about.
Yeah, you could get the double pack and you and Natalie would start it together. And that would make it a little bit more affordable.
Well, I don't want Natalie to like get roped into it, so I'll probably just have her like, I don't know, maybe I'll just order for her or something.
Well, what you could do that I think is really great is we want everybody to have a guarantee on their products and everybody to create their own account. And so you could enroll her under you.
Okay.
And then she has a guarantee on her products. Her orders
How
come
much
to
would
her
I make
house.
off of that?
If she signs up as an ambassador, and she gets the $1.99 welcome pack for her and her husband.
No, I don't want her to sign up for anything.
Okay, so as a customer,
Yeah, probably.
okay, this is exactly what happened. So as a customer on that triplex, you're going to make about $35, $40 on her triplex and X Factor.
Actually, $22. I made $22.
But didn't we make a 15% commission?
No, I made $22 my first paycheck.
Okay.
Awesome.
You're going to make $22.
Okay.
But it could be more if she earns
Yeah,
15 or 25%.
Okay, well that would help. That would actually help a ton if I
Yeah.
could just like have my products be for.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your mom and Natalie, do you think your mom would feel more comfortable as a customer or
No, I'm just gonna get that packet thing.
the double pack and give her half of it?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna split it with her evenly,
Okay.
but the membership will be for me.
Perfect. So it's going to cost you a lot.
Yeah, we split it right down the middle, and
She pays for half your membership.
Yeah, she did.
Okay, that's great.
and I took the X Factor. No, I'm talking about my mom right now. My mom's not watching this.
She's going to. I'm going to attack her.
No,
That's more to this.
Look what you bring. So you already are going to make $22 commission.
Okay.
Off your sister-in-law's. Is there
I'm
anything
gonna
else
call
you
my
can think
best
of?
friend Andrea and make her do this with me.
Okay, tell me a little bit about Andrea.
Well, she just like, I'm just gonna make her do it. She's going through a hard time,
Okay,
and I just need another person. So
that's perfect. So if she signs up as an ambassador, you'll get a $25 bonus just for
Okay.
her welcome pack, and that's going to be paid to you
yeah,
next Friday.
I don't know. We'll see. It took me 2 weeks to get 3 people, you guys, and I was calling them on the phone, and I made my sister-in-law Natalie sign up as a customer because back then there wasn't a 60-day money-back guarantee on ambassadors, and I didn't want her to get roped in.
It was 5 days.
To the 5-day return that I signed up for, and Brooke felt so badly because she didn't know that. And I was like, I read the email, and I was like, you told me that I had 60 days, and it says I only have 5 days, and I was planning on returning. And she was like, I'm so sorry. And I said, well, I'm not going to let Natalie sign up as a customer then. I mean, I'm going to make her sign up as a customer. And we laid on her living room, and I was like, you're going to be a customer because then at least you won't get screwed like I have. Yeah. And then I signed up. My mom and my best friend, and then I upgraded Natalie, and Natalie enrolled Nicole Rust. Nicole Rust. Is this her team back here? Lonnie, Shay. And so what? Oh, and Emily.
Yep.
And so I really want you to see, like, I am someone who gave her all the wrong signals. I was never going to do the
I was
business.
super patient with her and followed up and helped her see that she didn't have to do a business,
But she still saw it. Yeah, but she was posting on Facebook regularly. She was checking in with me, but not obsessively. She could have probably done a little bit better. It all worked out. It all worked out just fine. But the biggest thing is she never put pressure on me to do anything, and I've even had people message me when they're just totally burnt out and they're like, I can't make this my whole life. Like, I'm gonna have to stop enrolling people. And I was like, all right, fine, yeah, stop doing that. Stop enrolling people. Pull back, by all means. Pull back. Instead of, no, just keep going. It'll be okay. It'll be fine. Just keep going. But instead, you're like, oh yeah, pull back. Fine. Yeah.
You are not desperate.
Yeah.
If you always remember in your mind that you have something people need, you have something people want, and you have something that people desperately desire, then you don't have to be desperate. And you just connecting and caring about somebody, reminding them why they wanted to start in the first place, and caring about them enough to try to uncover their objection. Because when people tell us no or they're not ready, so often we're like ashamed or afraid. And so we don't want to be the person that asks them why. But if you really love them and you really care about them, you want to find out what's holding them back. And so don't be afraid to say, hey, Emily, I'm just wondering, what's really holding you back?
It's just the money. Like, it's all the money. I'm so stressed out about it. And like, my husband, he's just not going to make the kind of money that your husband makes.
But what if I could show you a way that?
Well, I'm not a nurse, and no one's ever going to listen to me.
Most of my friends are not nurses.
I know, but like, I don't want to be busy. Like, I am so happy with just being a stay-at-home mom, and like, I'm already busy enough. I can't even add a trip to the zoo in because it like throws off my whole week.
I totally understand how you feel. I'm up to my eyeballs.
I know. I don't want to do this.
And you totally don't have to.
I said this stuff to her, you guys, because I had zero interest in adding one more thing in.
Yeah.
I didn't want that, and I legitimately thought that nobody would listen to me. I mean,
So we just started with the people people that she thought of.
And then at
her
7 days in, I
closest
said, these are not working, and I'm pretty sure it turned my breast milk gray. So I'm going to stop.
She called me up.
After the first contact that
Uh-huh.
you had with her, when did she actually sign up? Like,
1
let's
month.
say,
About a month. Yeah,
Wow.
about a month. Yeah, and I didn't pester her. You know,
And I thought it was
incessantly.
super tacky that she posted that Amy posted her silver board. I was like, I'm not signing up now. She's just doing it for money.
Right.
That's what I thought.
Yep. But people that are, one thing to remember when people come at you with, if they come at you with venom like that, or they say things like that to you, you always have to remember it's not about you, it's about them. And so if somebody
It was me
is
feeling
unhappy
insecure,
or
me
insecure,
feeling less than, and that is not what people thought. It was my issue.
Yeah.
My problems that I needed to personally develop through.
so never react to that. Just respond calmly and in love. Don't react to that or take offense to that, because if someone treats you that way, it's because they're not happy. Something's not going well.
I was just going to add, I think it's worth it to be patient with stubborn people because they can be the best leaders. And the ones that come at you with venom, sometimes you just have to be patient. All of my leaders have come from other MLMs or like I hate social network marketing or whatever. But I was extremely patient with them. And now they already know the ropes. I don't have to
And
teach
not
them what they came
desperate.
from another company.
Yeah.
They just learn.
Yeah. Exactly. Be patient with people. Don't be desperate. Don't come across as pushy. You're not going to be. But I want you guys to understand that being passionate is different than being pushy. Being passionate is like, Emily, I really care about you, and I can see that you are struggling. And
I'm actually
And I
grounding. And that post you did about the anxiety
I
thing,
know. I want to see you
I
feeling
really
better.
want to do it.
And what if this is the thing that's going to do that for you? And that's what I want.
What if
for
I
you.
could do the milk cookies instead?
You've tried the milk cookies, and they didn't work. I think it's time.
Okay. I'm just
Can
gonna
I call you?
Well, can you just put the order in for me?
No, I'm going to call you up and I'm going to help you with it.
No, you said no.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
That's old me.
No, because she thought I was asking her to order on her account. I just was like, just wanted to give her my information to put it in on the computer.
Yeah.
And she made me do it myself. And so
So I don't do that anymore.
You can.
I would ask
Okay,
if I can call
So the thing that I really want to focus on here, you guys, is even though Brooke's process was not perfect, it still got the job done. And even though your process, which one? Anna? That's gonna be really easy. Okay, sure. I'm a great artist. But the point is that even though you don't have the perfectly crafted tool, even though you don't do it exactly right, and you might be coming off wrong, that they're going to get it from you if you will just not give up. If you will just show up and be there with love and interest. Like, I really wanted it so badly, and most people really want it so badly, and we give up before they have the chance to say yes.
I would agree.
So I'm so glad. Thanks for not giving up on me, like all the time. All the time.
She didn't make it easy. But be patient with people. I just think, like Emily said, all these things that we've talked about today, even simplifying the way that you connect or prospect people, you're not going to do it perfectly every time, and that's not what matters. The heart is what matters the most. And then just when in doubt, like even nowadays, I'll be typing up a message, I'll be like, ooh, that's a little bit long, and I will edit myself. When in doubt, talk less, listen more. Say less, listen more. Ask more questions. Take interest in people. Get to know them. As you do that, you're going to have that connection. It builds trust. They are more receptive to do what you're suggesting for them to do because you have their best interest in mind. You want to help them feel better. And so if I could say anything about talking to potentials is number one, you've just got to do it consistently. You just have to do it.
And the
There's no
more
way
you mess
around it.
up, the better you get.
The better you get. Second thing is don't overtalk, don't overshare, because you are training them how to share and how to do your job. And if you are sounding like an expert and letting your ego get in there because you want to sound like you know everything, you're not going to develop a team of people that want to share. If Emily had come at Beth, for example, with all kinds of facts and statistics and ingredients,
Scare her right away.
scared her away. So think about who you're talking to. If you know they're agreeing and you know they're all about the information, fine. You can just let your little plexus heart sing. But everyone else, keep it simple and realize that you are training them from day one. And it's okay that you've done it totally different until now. You have a chance to start over. My whole first leg was not done exactly like this. You know, we taprooted, but we didn't do it in the most efficient way. And, you know, my second time around, it's been better. So think about this as a fresh start to really start to dig into your teams, to see the potential, to talk to potentials in a different way that's more simplified that other people can do. Teach them how to use a third-party tool so that you have your time freedom. Teach them how to connect their new people to you afterwards so that you can then taproot. You can be there to help them through some difficult times. You can be there to celebrate their victories and re-invite them to share. It's just one big cycle over and over. And don't give up on anybody, because you'll have people that'll quit and restart. I am now in the business 3 years, and I have people that quit the first year on me that were customers or ambassadors that are now rejoining me again and are much more interested in the business because I've just been consistent for 3 years. I still post. I still am doing the same thing. They see me still doing the same thing. They see me trying to improve myself, being vulnerable, just being who I am. Be who you are. Don't be anybody else. Be who you are.
Can I say something? Sorry. Weird. I know. If you know me, it's weird.
You're always so quiet,
The other
Kirsten.
night I was like, oh, I kind of just took over our annual call. But anyways, I just want to attest to everything you're saying. And I am by no means perfect at all. But when I signed Emily under my husband, which was such a bad idea. Because I told her I would never share. Because Emily wanted
Famous
nothing to
last
do with her
words.
business. Okay? But I did things different with Emily. I talked to her every single day. I really challenged her. We did the sip and see right away, which followed up another sip and see, which followed up another sip and see. And I talked to her on the phone every single day. I did things differently with her than I did with anybody else. And there's 9 people on my team here, which makes me want to cry because I usually come to stuff alone. And 6 of them are here with her. And she's taught them to say, I went to sip and see at her house, and I went to one with her. And I've just been duplicating and taprooting, and it's new and it's just starting, but
it's exciting.
So good. Yeah.
That energy is exciting. And guys, if we're talking about sip and seas, or we're talking about talking to people face to face, some of you guys want to die. Like, you would rather die than talk to someone. Anybody that would then talk to someone face to face or do a sip and see? Like, you'd rather just die. Okay.
There's no faster way to get someone to silver than doing a sip and see.
Susie, what is our word of the week? Just. It's just a person. It's just a conversation. It's just a sip and see.
We're really close.
It's just. It's just a phone call. It's just a conversation. Nobody's dying here. It's just a no. It's just a not right now. It's just a that's an MLM. It's just a person. Everybody poops. Everybody needs what we have. They just may not know it yet. Don't take it so personally. Don't work yourself up to such a state that you can't do these things. And give it more value than it is, because it is just another person. It's just a conversation. It's just a sip and see. And you're not going to do it perfect. So just go ahead and release that right
And
now.
when people tell me no now, I kind of just roll my eyes and I'm like, so you're gonna be difficult. Fine, we'll go back to relationship building, I guess. You know, like, because I'm like, I know they're gonna come around eventually.
Yep.
Carrie.
I was supposed to say, I was listening to a podcast yesterday, I think, and she was like, it's talking about how do we do things, you know? And she goes, you don't have to know how. The answer to how is yes. You don't have to know how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen, because you don't get to know that. You don't get to know how you're going to get that. You don't get to know that. who you're gonna have on your team to get you there. You don't.
Just be willing.
I love that. I was thinking about this the other day, Carrie.
So anyway, the answer
Because
to that was
and I know you can relate to this. Like who in here suffered with infertility at some point in their life? You guys, I remember like the other day I was like, you know what, Heavenly Father, it would have been real great if you could have said you're gonna have 4 kids in 7 years and be totally overwhelmed. Enjoy these 2 years where I'm giving you nothing.
Amen.
I'm like, I would have been so much better if I could have just known, like somebody could have just told me it was gonna be fine. I didn't stress about it, cry every weekend at church. Like that was such wasted energy on something I had no control over. So here's the thing. You can waste all of your energy crying about you're not where you want to be. This is hard. They're saying no to you. I don't feel like doing that. And we're going to you're going to get there anyway. So just make it easier on yourself and stop doing this with yourself all the time. It's really exhausting to watch you.
Focus on what you can do. There are always so many things you can do to move your business forward. So when I've had low points in my business, I acknowledge my part in that. And then I pick myself up and realize, well, this is what I can control and this is what I can do. Because you are never a victim. You always have power. It's whether or not you decide to step into that power and take action and control the things that you can control. There's nothing about us that makes us, have superpowers. It's that consistency, that grit, that failing, falling down, being sad, getting back up, and doing the things that we could do to control our future and learning and telling you guys, these are all the things that we did wrong, but guess what? There's a better way.
We still made it, is the thing I want you guys to realize. Like, we still made mistakes, and it was okay. So if you're like, well, I've been doing it wrong, is it okay to start? Yeah. Haven't taught my team how to taproot. Good grief. That's big wrong. It's big wrong. And it's been okay. So you can start now and fix it. And you're going to be fine. You just don't quit. We just never quit. And we never took a month off or 2 months off or slowly faded for 3 months. Now, if you're doing that right now or you've done that in the past, just stop it. Stop it.
There's a lot of, I want to say there's a lot of peace and comfort when you finally come to the point where you have decided inside of you that you're not quitting. Because I used to have a lot of anxiety about this and building this business because I always thought, well, I need to get to this point and then I'll feel good. I need to get to this point and then I'll feel good. And eventually I was like, well, why do you even have that anxiety and feel those feelings? Because I'm committed. I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm staying here. And when you make that decision, you automatically feel more peace about your journey because you know, I'm going to learn, I'm going to grow, I'm going to evolve. I don't need to be anxious about this. It's all going to be okay. I'm going to learn the things I need to learn. And maybe you're stuck where you are right now because there's a lesson you haven't learned. There's something that you fear that you need to overcome and face. There's something that you're not doing. Like something we talked about today, you're like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that. I never do that. There's something you're not doing, and until you do that thing, you're going to kind of be stuck.
And how do you learn to do that thing that you're not doing, Brooke?
You just do it scared. You
No.
try.
You invest in yourself with personal development and then leadership development. And it might cost money. Just do it.
Yeah. That's part of sharpening the saw to me. When somebody tells me, when somebody's making money in their Plexus business and they tell me they can't pay $100 a month for some kind of coaching, I just automatically think, I'm so sad for them. They don't get it because that is an investment. I think about John Maxwell, and in his books how he talks about when he and his wife were like broke and he invested like $700 in some kind of training course that they did not have, but he knew he needed to do that to develop himself, and look at where he is. Emily and I last year when the Legacy Academy opened up, we were like some of the first members. We didn't know what it was going to be, but we knew that what we were doing was not sustainable. And we knew that we were not going to be able to have the kind of team that would give us the kind of residual income that we have.
We're just basically drowning.
Yeah. And
without
maybe
systems.
Yeah.
We're drowning without systems.
Yeah. So investing in that, reading books, watching videos. If you absolutely cannot spend the money right now, when people tell me, oh, I can't spend the money, I'm like, great, there's YouTube. Go to the library, check out books. There is not an excuse. There is always a way. If you want something, there is always a way. Always a way. So be the person that always finds a way. Maybe you go around the rock, over it, or you blow it up. But there's always a way to get there. All right? Anybody have any questions or anything?
I have a question. Okay, so I feel like it's hard when somebody tells you they're going to give up because they haven't seen anything.
Mm-hmm.
So what, like when Emily says, oh, it's drink my milk, like what do you do in that sense? I feel like
She said, stop it.
I
You're being
was very
ridiculous.
calm. I didn't
No,
say
she was
stop
like,
it.
yeah, yes, you did.
Did I?
Yeah, I was standing in my garage, and you were like, that is
She has a great
absolutely,
memory, doesn't she?
yes, it's photogenic too. She's like, she literally said to me, and I think it's okay to sometimes do this. She was like,
It is
that's
okay to sometimes do
ridiculous. It cannot do that.
And
And
don't say that to
I
everybody.
said, really? And she said, yes, it's not doing anything to you. And I said, okay, fine, I'll keep going.
The best thing you can do is have confidence.
Yes.
If you back away and you say, oh, I'm so sorry, or you act embarrassed, or any of those things, you make it worse. But if you act confident and you say, you know what, you go through, like, remember, this is why how you prospect or talk to potentials is important. When you've talked to them, you've talked about this 3 to 6 month commitment. You've talked about what they're struggling with. 30 days in, they come and they're like, you know what, 60 days in, I'm not getting the results I want. You remind them. My favorite word, remember. Remember when we first talked 2 months ago and you were struggling with X, Y, and Z, and we talked about how it was going to take you probably about 6 months before you really felt good, and that the products that you're starting on are not necessarily the products you're going to end up on.
Yeah, but I
So-
really thought I'd see something.
yeah, I had this one.
I'm going to put you in the hot seat for a minute and then we'll end. I really thought I'd see something though, and I literally see nothing.
And some people do have a lot slower.
But like,
turnaround.
it's like 7 days. Like I should see something in 7 days. No, people say this all the time, right?
About 60 days ago, like this girl, and she like
6 months.
was like
6 months.
Okay, 60 days. I mean, I feel like it's been, you know, like what I say in that case is, what are your products? Like start doing
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Do that.
So tell me a little bit about what you're taking, and when you're taking it, and how much you're taking.
what?
You go.
So tell me a little bit about how much, or what you're taking, when you're taking it, and how
But I
much.
committed in the beginning 6 months.
No, tell
What do
my
I
poor
take?
girl that's 60 days. What is she telling you?
What are you telling me?
So what are you, tell me a little bit about your regime. Like, what are you taking and when?
I was taking triplex.
How are you taking your triplex? You can make it up if you want.
Just like, you want me to remember?
For this girl,
Okay.
right? Like, what is she telling you?
I took my Slim in the morning with BioCleanse. I took my BioCleanse and probiotic at night. Then I had my extractor in the morning.
How much BioCleanse and how much Probio 5 are you taking? So I asked a lot of questions. How much of the product are you taking?
I was taking 2 of each. 2 BioCleanse in the morning and
And how
then
much
total.
Probio 5?
2 at the night.
2 at night?
I went down to
And-
1 at night because it made me sleep worse.
Okay. So you're struggling with some sleep issues right
I
now.
wasn't at the beginning.
Okay, so we're just pretending.
Okay, I know.
Okay,
so I am not your
Let's
person.
pretend.
I am not.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about what you're
Okay,
taking.
I'm taking Triplex and Ease, and it's been 60 days, and I'm just not like feeling anything at all.
So how much of everything are you taking?
I'm doing Slim in the morning with 2 BioCleanse, 1 Probio 5 at night, and 1 Ease.
Just one Ease?
Yeah.
Okay. So remember when we talked about your routine in the beginning, and we talked about taking 6 Ease a day? So,
But I don't want to buy that much, so I'm just doing the 1.
okay, so with 1, you're probably not going to notice as much results. Remember when we talked in the beginning about those 6 E's a day and how because you're struggling so much, I don't know what your issues are, you're struggling so much with, what should we say?
Well, I really I'm just always really sore all over my body. It always hurts.
You're achy all the time. Oh,
Yeah.
because you're struggling so much with your fibromyalgia.
And I'm just achy all the time.
Okay, because you're struggling so much with your aches and pains, 1 is like a drop in the bucket. We're not going to have to stay on 6.
But I should feel like something with 1.
With 1, you're not. for what you're struggling with, you're not really going to feel very much. We could go ahead and go to 4 and try 4 if you don't want to
You
go
really
all the
think
way up
that's
to
gonna
6.
work? Like really, truly. I mean, if I'm feeling nothing with one, it's hard for me to believe at this point that I'm gonna feel something. I've already invested so much money for 2 months, and I was expecting to at least have more energy, and I just feel more tired, sleeping worse, and I still have all my teeth.
Can I insert right here? When someone says that to me and they're going on and on and on, I ask them, how long has it taken you to get sick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it's going to take you either half or that same amount of time to get out of it unless you listen to what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
There
telling
you
you.
go.
Yeah.
And then it ends it.
Preaches.
Yeah.
You don't have to, they don't have anything to come back at you.
Right.
They can't say,
Well, I don't know
why.
if I don't know. Maybe I'll just, I honestly, like, I think I just don't want to spend the money if I'm not going to feel better, I guess.
Then I say, okay, what are you doing right now? Where are you getting your vitamins at before you use Plexus? Because if you're getting them at Costco, they're made of ground up rocks. And I say that all the time, even before Plexus. When I coach people, I'd say, if you're getting your supplements at Costco, it might save you a buck, but they're ground up rocks.
And so something that I'll say a lot of times to people like this is I'll say, well, the other option, of course, is to stop using Plexus and still feel horrible.
Yeah.
Or you can Plexus. Rocks are cheaper than
A lot of times I'll talk about how if nothing changes, nothing changes. I say that a lot. I say, you've been doing it your way for 35 years, and this is where you're at, and you don't feel great. Do you trust me enough to stick with this for 6 months, like we talked about in the beginning, and to take the regime that I told you was going to be what was going to help you? Because if not, you are going to feel like you're
I just
wasting
really
money.
don't want to spend all this money.
Well, I know that you've been learning about the products, and I know that we've talked a lot about them. I'm sure that you have thought of some other people in your life that can use these products.
Well, I can't say that it's helped me with anything. I can't go on and say it's helping me when it's not helping me.
Could you share my story? Yes. Could you share my story?
So good. Yeah, I could share your story, I think.
So what about if we just put a short little post up on Facebook where you share my story? This is what it would look like.
Okay, I'll do it.
Would you be willing to put that
Yeah,
up?
that's fine.
Okay, awesome. So when you post it tonight, I'm not saying if. When you post it, I'm saying when you post it tonight. I'm giving them a deadline.
Okay.
When you post it tonight, just put a picture of yourself up there with your kids or a selfie of you.
I'll put your picture up though. I'm not putting my
How about that picture that we have of you and I together?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, awesome. and will you tag me in it so that I can
I don't even know how to do that, but I'll just put it up.
I don't know how. I don't know how.
I'll just put it up and we'll see if anyone says anything.
Okay, awesome. So that's a really good start. But I know, as you've been learning about these products, you've probably already thought of a few people that come to mind. Like, who comes to mind automatically? Nobody that struggles with
But I'll post your thing up. I gotta go. I'm super busy.
Okay, all right, great. Let's put that up right now. Here, let me see your phone. This is Emily. Here, let me help you with that right now. Take the phone. Let's put it up. Okay, there.
Okay, so you guys get the idea, right? I hope that there's something that you learned from us here tonight that made you want to change a few little things. One of the things that Bob Heilig always says is that most people are doing things literally just a half a degree wrong. If you just turn it just a half a degree, it makes the biggest full circle difference. So, we love you.
Thank
You're
you.
amazing. Bye.